social media family, it's Kaylee here from Francis Comfort Mobile Homes LLC. It is one day to the new year. How do you guys feel about that? This year has went by so fast, and I want to take the time out before I start today's video to wish you and your family a happy, joyful, safe new year in 2024. And also, I want to thank all of our clients that we had opportunity to serve from 2021 until now. We really do appreciate you. We appreciate you for trusting us in this home selling journey, and we wish more to come. For today's video, we thought it was very fitting for it to be a success story. We have had a lot of success stories, thankfully, throughout our journey in business. And today, we are going to pick, drumroll, a client from Mayodan, North Carolina. For privacy purposes, I will be identifying this client as Miss Flowers. One day I already had clients to assist in Indian Trail due to a park closing, but before that appointment, I had a nail appointment, and I was in the nail salon when I received this call from Miss Flowers, and Miss Flowers had had enough. She was explaining to me that the demolition was already on the way to her property, and I better hurry up. So I let Miss Flowers know that I could be over within 10 to 15 minutes. Luckily, the nail tech was finishing up my nails, and I was able to get to Miss Flowers within her desired time frame. I was already dressed because, again, I had an appointment to go to an Indian Trail, so I was just able to shoot right on over. When I got to her property, guys, her property was about 30 feet off the main road. You go onto her property, you driving down a road, you gotta pass a railroad track to get in her driveway.
Meanwhile,
I'm thinking like, I don't watch scary movies, but I done heard enough, like, where are we going? Where are we going? So we get back there, and I'm like, Miss Flowers, I don't see a house. And I'm like, Miss Flowers, where's the house? She's like, oh, come on out, it's around the corner. And I'm like, she's like, come on out the car. So again, I went against my better judgment that day because I was by myself. I was all alone, and I trusted the process. I got out, we went around some bushes, and the house was behind all of that stuff. And she has a huge property. Her property is over 30 acres, and it is beautiful. This property here is her vacation property. Miss Flowers is not from North Carolina. She is from Florida. Her family is from Florida. She raised her children out there, and this is just a vacation property for her. She had this home on her property because they do run a business, and this home was their vacation home when they came to North Carolina to work. So Miss Flowers had had enough. Her husband of all those years had divorced, and she wanted those memories gone. When, again, I got out the car, we initially started inspecting the property, and the home was beautiful. It was a 1997 Brigadier. I will post some pictures right here. And it was immaculate because they never lived in it full time. She had an executive desk, beautiful carpet. Carpet was original, clean, stellar. That particular day, we evaluated the home. I took pictures. I let Miss Flowers know her options. Demolition, she would have to come out of pocket, versus with Francis Comfort, we give her money. Move it off her property, she won't have to do anything but just watch and get updates. After that day, we got her under contract that day. From there, we had 30 days to work. Francis Comfort, we did all of our research. We did all of that before we got her under contract. And then we put the home on the market. The home had a lot of showings due to where the home was one of the main hurdles of this property. Unfortunately, beautiful home, good condition. Sometimes, depending on where the home is located, could make it longer or shorter. This particular home made it a little longer on the back end due to it took a lot to get it out of that property. All right, pause. This is where things got very interesting. The moving part made this house story one for the books for sure. The movers, as I showed in this clip, you seen where the house is located. It's about 30 feet, maybe further off from the road. And we recommend you guys get your own mover. Shell, you are not able to find a mover. We do have movers on standby. Mr. Darryl is one that I met doing this deal. We meet movers all the time, and we vet them out ourselves before we add them onto our movers list to refer to others. So Mr. Darrell was our first time using him, but this one was one for the books due to he was the one, him and his father was the people that moved it in, and he had history of that home and about bringing it in and finding some of his ropes and things like that. So Mr. Darrell was charging a minimum $3,500 to get it to the road. Let's start there, and we're gonna go. Let's hit play. What you're seeing, the movers are prepping the home. They have done taking the skirting off, putting the wheels on, and getting it ready to go. I'm gonna pause it right here. The movers started out with one truck. Typically, that's all you need. Due to this house, there was a lot of so they had to, at one point, the truck had got stuck in a spot they could not get it out. So they had to go get Old Formier. Old Formier is this yellow truck. Now, another thing that made this very interesting, every milestone, due to how hectic this home was to get out of there, every milestone, if that home moved, it was like, whoo, yes, it's moving, it's moving. It was very exciting to see that home door. Here you can see the home move just a snippet. The home was right at the front door where you can see that deck, and then it's moving on just a snippet. Right here, the home is completely moved from in front of the deck. It's not even in the screen no more. That's what I'm showing. Like, woo, home is finally moved from where it has been sitting for 20 to 30 years. Right here, where you see them pulling the truck through with the yellow truck, hooking it to the red and white truck in the back, they had to cut trees to bring that home through. Her goal for this project was she wanted to be able to come down from Florida and bring her mobile home, bring her RV in, park it right at the deck. So she would come in her RV from the deck, come out on the deck, view and have the water as her front view, of course. And then when she left, she didn't want to have to turn around. She wanted to be able to keep going. So essentially just creating a circle. It's so interesting seeing how mobile home movers get these things out of here. I mean, they'll get it out of here any way necessary. That home getting up out of there. And I also want to pause and say this, that this home was very doable because of Miss Flowers and her manpower of her employees and all of their heavy equipment that they had. If it wasn't for that and where their home was located, I had some movers come out here and told me that it was not going to be able to get out. So having the manpower, the willpower, the skill, and the expert is all how this happened, and it took a village and a team to really get this thing done. As y'all can see, their home was getting a little bit further out. I gotta pause it right here. When that home got up out of that circle, whew, I could have fell out. I could have fell out because it was so hard getting that home out. Now, mind you, it took a whole day just to get it out from where it was out of that circle. Now, this is them pulling it out. Now, as you guys can see, this is a railroad. And it's a real railroad. It's a railroad that takes coal back and forth. And we had to call the railroad company multiple times just for them to pause the train because we had this project coming through. And it was one of those things where they were calling the son and like, hey, how long is this going to take? You know, we just let them know, hey, it's not over yet, because that's the last thing that we wanted was for a train to come and someone's home is demolished. Because the home was paid for. All we're trying to do is just get it out. The property owners were helping us get it out. And we were just doing our best to get it out there as fast as we could. This was a task. With that, it took 30 days to sell because of all the back end, like I just filled you in, to get it out. So people were coming out to see the home. Oh, I like it, I like it, I like it. But let me see how much it would cost to get it out of here. Oh, I like it, I like it, I like it. But let me just call my mover. Oh, I like it, but I don't have anywhere to put it. On the last day of showings, the last day, we had a buyer by the name of Mr. Terry. He came, money in hand. I talked to him that morning. He came out to the property that evening with his grandmother, and the home was sold on the last day of our 30 days.
Many months later.
Fast forwarded, after the home had been moved and everything from Miss Flowers' property, we still do talk to Miss Flowers till this day. If Miss Flowers comes to North Carolina, she invites us over. And you can see our picture here. The last time she came to North Carolina and we visited her on her property, she had a very good time. She loves spending time with our daughter. She calls and check on her and wants to, know how she's doing throughout the year and things like that. So if you guys can see that picture, the flower, if you guys see the flowers in the picture that we gave her, we showed up bearing gifts, of course, and that flower that you see, she planted it in her property in Florida. We did a deal in Tampa, Florida last year as well, and Miss Florida. We did a deal in Tampa, Florida last year, and we text Miss Flowers and we're like, we're in Florida, where are you at? Long story short, Miss Flowers sent us her property address, her main address in Florida, and we visited her at her main residence, and it was just so surreal to pull up to her main residence after we have helped her in North Carolina. We went back to her property to see her, and then she's inviting us over to her main residence in Florida. Like, it just felt so good. And she was out hanging out with some of her friends on her backyard. I was like, hey, these are my North Carolina friends. And it was just felt so cool. And so it's a watermelon festival every year. I believe it's watermelon or strawberry. I have to ask. But it was happening that weekend in Plant City. And she helps out every year, and she gave us a watermelon to bring back home. And I tell y'all, that watermelon was so good and juicy. I had to call her when we got back home. I was like, that watermelon was so good. And she's like, oh, I am so glad. So this year, she did not help out with the festival. She said it was just extremely too hot. And yeah, but we really enjoy Miss Flowers. The next time that we are around, either her or her son, we will try to get them on camera to let them tell y'all how their experience was working with us, because we had an amazing time. Anytime it gets to the spring, I text her like, where you coming? Because her property is just so beautiful, guys. And we just love going back there and listening to the rain or the water and the stream or what have you. And it's just so beautiful. And I love working with our clients. But my favorite part is talking to them after business is over. It really does show you how personable we are and how much they appreciate us being personable, because we go out of our work feeling to still talk about family, friends, and we don't forget. If you happen to call Francis Comfort, don't be surprised if we check on you after the process. That is just part of what we love to do. And so I'm going to wrap up today's video right here. If you found anything in this video helpful at all, make sure to share it with a loved one or someone who you know may need home solutions. Recommended Francis Comfort Mobile Homes LLC, and we will get the job done. I thank you guys. I want to again wish you a happy, joyful, prosperous, gracious, loving, caring 2024. And again, my name is Kaylee, and we're out.